It's the hot show, and I don't know how it's gonna go. It's the hot show, and I can't guess what's gonna happen next. So come on and join in. Let's do the hot show. Hello and welcome to the hot show. I'm Hot the Cat. Today in the kitchen. Woo, the kitchen. Yay. It's such a great part of the house. Like, what else can you say? What else can you say about the kitchen?
The kitchen can be a stressful place for some and a calming place for others.
Is it a stressful place for you, or is it a calming place?
Depends on the day, Hot the Cat.
What about today?
I think it will be a place of excitement and joy. But right now it's a little stressful because I think I picked something kind of stressful. But that's where we're starting.
So you picked a stressful meal. Is that what you're saying? To cook tonight? You picked a stressful meal to cook tonight?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I'm excited to see how that turns out for you tonight.
Thank you. I'm excited as
well. Hello. Welcome to the hot show.
It's a pleasure as always to be here.
Are you also joining us from your kitchen?
Yes, this is my microwave. That is my kitchen. I was just talking to Ryan. He says hello. There is a couscous update if you would like it.
Wait, quinoa or couscous?
Or quinoa, rather. Quinoa
yeah,
update.
Quinoa.
If you would like it. No change. That is the update.
Glad you got that off right at the start.
Yes.
Now, would you say that the kitchen is a stressful place for you or a calming place?
It used to be a very stressful place, and now it's a very calming and fun place. I've learned to, as many people did over the pandemic, I have learned and experimented a little bit more with cooking and really enjoyed that process. So now I find it a creative space.
Cool.
How about you, Hot?
I would say most of the time it's a pretty calming place. Like it's something that I enjoy doing. It can be stressful to the extent that I have to clean everything up, and I don't always give myself great time to do that. But like once I get into doing dishes, even that is like a calming thing. But
I put music on when I do the dishes.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I sometimes do podcasts. Yeah.
My family's rule is that if you cook, somebody else has to do the dishes. But I live alone, so I have to do both.
In our house, this one that I'm in currently, this kitchen, what often happens is I do a lot of the prep work, and then the lovely Erica does a lot of the cooking part of it, and then I do a lot of the cleanup also.
Nice.
That kind of works out pretty well. But I've kind of gotten out of seasoning things very well or cooking them perfectly well because I don't do it that often. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight.
Should we start now? Is there like a time limit? Are there any restrictions? I
wouldn't say so, but I think before I get started, I want to kind of introduce what's going on here.
Okay. Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily know, because not everyone will have watched the previous episode. And so today we are going to be cooking, but we are cooking with 3 special ingredients. I wrote a little song to kind of describe it. Maybe I'll play it. Here, should I make myself bigger? Do you think that's a good idea?
Yes, bigger is better.
Okay. What can you do with an onion, an egg, and something green? Maybe you could make a weird kind of poutine. Seared salmon topped with mint ice cream, breaded onion fries, and the Annie-style egg of your dreams. It could be hard-boiled devil, poached over medium, fried in an omelet with caramelized onions. Come and cook whatever, cook your favorite bean. Just make it with love, an onion, an egg, and something green. An onion, an egg, and something green.
Magnificent as always.
Thank you. So, we're cooking with an onion, an egg, and something green. I'm really excited about this. It's kind of like a cooking challenge in some way, like the Hot Show cooking challenge. Even though it's using the most easily accessible ingredients possible. No, not for all people. I'm really interested to see. Skunky, welcome to the show. It kind of looks like.
Please tell me you're cooking. You in the back of your truck.
Okay, pouring some water into what looks to be a thermos. Some kind. Are you?
I've never been more riveted in my entire life.
Are you actively driving right now, Skunky?
I hope not.
That is a fair question, and I appreciate you asking.
It seems like maybe not, unless it's really on autopilot. I'm really interested. I'm really interested in the question of what green things did you all bring?
I got multiple green things.
Multiple green things. Okay.
All right.
Start.
Let me pop in real quick. I just wanted to pop in, start my water. I need to finish unloading my truck, and I'll be back.
Okay, great.
Bye.
Thanks for joining. I really hope he cooks something.
I hope so too. I think that will be really fun if he does.
For anyone who's watched previous episodes, there have been some people who are not a fan of green olives right from the jar as a snack. So I decided to incorporate them into this recipe.
Oh, that's a really interesting green thing.
Also, does anybody recognize these nuts? These nuts?
Are they green as well?
Are they pistachios?
They look
They
like
are.
Oh, there are pistachios. Green.
Yeah, our pistachios.
You're bringing some interesting greens in here.
Does anybody recognize these?
All right, without looking, I'm gonna guess, and knowing that they're green.
They go on top of lox bagels.
Cucumber, chives,
Capers.
Capers.
a pastrami sandwich,
Wait, we're talking green here. What pastrami sandwiches have you had?
really moldy ones.
Hey, you're bringing lots of green.
There we go.
You're bringing a lot of green into this.
Quite a
How
few
about,
green things.
How about you, E? What kind of green things?
I'm a little embarrassed that my green things are not as exciting.
Well,
I have.
It just
I'm
has
so
to be-
excited.
I have a green bell pepper and I have some green onion as well.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Excited to see that. I thought about green onions for a minute, and I could not find them at the grocery store.
Shout out Booker T and the MGs.
I have a few different green things I could do, but I think what I'm going to be doing is using some spinach.
Ooh.
Love spinach.
Yeah, that reminds me. I should see if I have some basil. Got basil update. Basil is still good.
Oh,
And I'm also
go ahead.
this is cauliflower.
Oh, green cauliflower?
It's just white, but it's going in the pan, and I felt like I should show you that.
The basil is nice. Basil has seen better days.
I don't know if I'm doing this correctly.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, like, what I don't know. They were just like flying all over the place. Okay, there we go. What kind of oil are you got there?
Olive oil?
Very nice.
Oh, are we starting? All right, cool. Stop.
Are you have you started it all, E?
No.
You been prepped?
No, I wasn't sure if it was going to be cheating to come with any prep done or anything like that, so I didn't want to incur any wrath.
Yeah, this is a pretty wrathful show.
Yes.
Pretty wrathful. I'm moving. I did a little prep work. I'm not gonna lie. I just put everything out on the counter, and then while you were doing the intro song, I chopped these pistachios into tiny little bits, which was kind of calming.
Well done.
Very nice.
Hot the cat. What items do you have?
There's my egg.
I see an egg.
Yeah, some nice brown eggs. No, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna make. I was thinking of maybe making a rice and beans thing, but I don't think I actually have any beans.
You don't have like a million beans in your cupboard?
No, I just used the last can that we had.
My household always has a ton of beans. I wish I could throw you a can.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm
great.
with you, Shelton. I like dry beans too. Make a big pot. You can kind of customize the flavor. The other thing too, I watch how much sodium I eat. Veggies have a lot of sodium.
What are you feeling?
Yeah,
Potato?
None of your business. It's a sweet potato.
sweet potato. Interesting.
This is going to be my side.
Now, can I ask you? You mentioned you have green onions. Is that your onion, or are you also using like a white or yellow onion?
I was also going to use a white onion.
Very nice. Very nice.
Actually, it's probably a yellow onion, but
I'm trying. I don't know how these people on TikTok do this. There we go. There we go. You can see what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, that looks nice.
Oh, nice. Multiple camera angles. That's how they do it.
Yeah, you know, I was actually I thought of this before the show.
All right. Have you guys ever made homemade pasta before?
Made homemade pasta?
Yep.
Not from scratch.
I've made it 4 or 5 times before, but I do generally always look it up just in case.
I've seen a lot of tutorials and like watching, chefs on YouTube do it, or cooks on YouTube, but I could never really just enough to try it myself. I think you're very brave.
Just afraid this might take a lot of time, but we'll see.
Watching tends to be a pretty long endeavor. So
That's fair. Okay, place flour in a mound and a flat. Crack 4 eggs. I'm not too good. I just need to know how much flour I'm supposed to put.
well, yeah, I think I can get a nice little view here. See what I'm doing. Now, the kitchen is quite an interesting place in the house. I know that we're kind of off cooking, making sure I speak carefully. I feel like the kitchen is always just like at parties. That's where everyone always ends up hanging out.
I feel like that's how it was when I was a kid. We would always hang out in the kitchen. And also, in my apartment, there's not really a couch, so you kind of have to hang out in the kitchen. I'm going to go with a cup of flour, 2 cups of flour. No, I don't know. There's got to be a ratio here that I'm forgetting.
Are you going to make more than one serving?
Yeah, I think. It just says a mound in every single direction, so I think it just says until it's like absorbed. So I'm gonna just go ahead and free-ball it. Also, we get to use my favorite kitchen appliance.
What is that?
What's that? Bench paper?
They're little, they're measuring cups that fit inside of each other.
That's adorable.
They are great and they're cute. I would argue against them being an appliance.
You keep going in and out, huh?
Oh, that's too bad. I would argue against measuring cups being an appliance.
That's fair. I just feel like it was so cute that I had to share.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No,
I don't know.
they're real cute. Don't get me wrong.
What's your definition of an appliance then, huh?
I think it has to have some, at least mechanical function, but I think an electrical function.
Okay.
Is everybody else having internet issues, or is it just me?
I think it's just you. I'm hearing hot.
Okay, well, I may need to switch to a different appliance. But I do agree with you that an appliance should probably have electricity. This is the exciting part. Yay! You put an egg in the middle of the flour, and you go like this with the fork. Also, normally it stays in the hole.
So hot. Walk us through. Oh, you're on mute, Shelton. Why don't you walk us through what you're doing right now?
I'm trying to make homemade pasta noodles, and I'm having a little bit of difficulty remembering how to do that because I've only done it 4 or 5 times. But you like crack the egg into the flour, and then you need to like mix it enough to the point where it becomes like a nice little dough. I also texted my sister for help because she makes homemade pasta like every day.
Is there a specific form of pasta you're gonna make?
I think it will be fettuccine when I'm done. I think we'll find out. This was not nearly as graceful as I thought it was going to be. Were we only supposed to use 1 egg?
No, you just have to use one.
Okay.
You can use more.
It was a really violent little egg noise, guys.
You should talk her through your up to. Did you hear that?
No.
Here, let me switch this and.
Whoa, that's so cool.
Sorry.
That's fun.
Are we in space?
Yeah, we've entered space.
Wow, that's exciting.
What I said was, E, why don't you kind of talk us through what you're up to?
Oh, sure. So I've got oil on my hands. Okay, so I took a sweet potato, I peeled it, and I cut it out into relatively thin rounds. That I've, as you can see, that's hot. Don't touch that. That's really hot. Yeah, that's hot. Shouldn't be that hot. Okay. I sprinkled some pepper, some garam masala, some cumin, and just a little bit of garlic and a little bit of cayenne pepper on there, just for a little bit of a kick. And I'm going to throw them in the oven. This is going to be my side. And then I'm going to get prepping some other stuff. So this is just a little thing to go with my main, which is going to incorporate all of the required ingredients.
That sounds delicious.
I've made them before. They're super easy. Take about, actually I'm going to set a timer. They take like 25 minutes, depending on how thick you cut them. I cut them a little thinner to cook a little faster. So I'm hoping they're done in 20.
Did you say what you're making? I feel like I I missed that.
I did not. I can say that. I'm gonna make a burger with sautéed onion and sautéed peppers on it, and then have an egg on top of that, and I might throw some turkey. So.
Now, are you
When
thinking
you
of,
said I was very surprised.
you think you're gonna fry an egg?
Yes, that's the plan.
Nice, very nice.
All right, so I'm gonna start dicing up some eggs.
My sister said that the dough needs to rest for an hour, so I don't think I'm going to break some rules here. I don't think it actually needs to rest for an hour.
I will say you have really gone ambitious on this one.
Yeah.
I know. Feeling a little regret to that, but that's okay.
No, I applaud you. I think that's great.
I'm kind of excited though. I feel like it'll be good. Also, like, look at how cool that is. It already starts to look like what pasta is made out of, you know? It's just
Oh, yeah.
egg and flour. Just egg and flour. And a little bit of salt. My sister is texting me and she says, I'm I'm driving at a stoplight. Google it. And then she says, use the Bon Appetit recipe. All right. Thanks, Jace.
Is this an older sister or a younger sister?
I'm the youngest of three, so it's always an older sister.
Is this an older sister? Or an
Older sister, not.
Or an older sister or an even?
Well, I'm 4 years younger than one of them, or 5. Oh man, no, I can't remember. I'm 5 years younger than one, and then the other one I'm only like a year and a half younger than. Oh no.
Oh,
The iPad. Oh, I'm okay. It's not an iPad. I don't know what it's called. This is some sort of tablet. This is not an iPad commercial. What are you making? You want to describe what you're working on?
so I don't exactly know where I'm going to be going because I was thinking a rice and beans thing, but I don't have things for rice and beans. Namely, the beans. I have cut up some onion, some garlic, some mushroom, and right now I'm working on some yellow pepper.
Nice. Is there an egg in there? Or are you making eggs?
Well, I'm thinking maybe I'll end up frying an egg on top.
Yeah.
It's kind of where my mind's at. I was thinking maybe starting with cooking a little bit of bacon.
Ooh.
Kind of like get a little bacon grease in there, and I don't know. I think it'll be nice.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of a funny thing. The way my schedule worked, I was very hungry when I got off of work, but it took me a minute to like figure out some food. So I'm not like very hungry right now, and I don't usually cook when I'm not hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you like cook when you're like sated.
Depends on if I'm like trying to make something exciting or if I'm just like, because like if it's something exciting, then yeah. But if it's something that I'm like, I'm not hungry, but it'll take like 5 minutes, no. But I also meal prep at the beginning of the week. I'll make like a soup. So I guess the answer is yes, I do cook when I'm not hungry, but I always end up snacking along the way.
Mm.
I hope no one's watching this and judging my pasta making, but you know what? If they are, they're not welcome.
We actually, I can see up, but I can't see. I can see you.
I will say that if there is somebody who has a problem with your pasta making, I would like them to come on the show, and so we can talk this out.
Okay. I somehow made the eye all black. Can you still see everything?
Yeah. Like,
Nope.
You're kind of maybe frozen at the moment.
Okay.
I am at a choice. I could use your guys' advice. So I'll show you what I got going on. So I'm making a burger. Right? I've got some bacon going right now, some turkey bacon.
Oh, very nice.
That's what I got. And I've got some peppers and onions prepped basically what I'm going to do is cook the bacon and then use kind of the fat and grease left over from that and fry the vegetables in there. So it's going to be a burger with all of those things and an egg on top. Mushrooms go really well, cooked mushrooms go really well with peppers and onions. But is that too many things on a burger?
No.
It's not that big of a burger.
I encourage a burger with mozzarella sticks, mac and cheese, onion rings, and there was something else on there, but I feel like there's never enough. It's always good.
All right.
And what I was gonna say that mushrooms are like one of those kind of like magical things for a burger that like they can cook down in a way that they just like kind of like end up being like a sauce for a burger.
Yeah.
And so I'm always kind of in favor of that. Yeah.
I think it's called a duck cell. It's something I've always wanted to try. You guys know what it is?
What is it? Duck cells?
A duck cell. It's a French term. So it's basically very tiny. Like you take a lot of mushrooms, butter, and garlic, and you dice up the mushrooms into very small pieces, and you kind of just cook them down over low heat. And you add the garlic and the butter. And so mushrooms are super absorbent, so they have a lot of water in them. So you're basically cooking out the water and then replacing them with the mushrooms, the garlic, and it becomes this like paste. You can like just put it on toast. It's not supposed to be. You can put it on a bunch of other things, but you can like eat it straight. It's like mushroom. It's very French.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It sounds very interesting.
Yeah. But it's like supposed to take several hours to make, so you like do it in big quantities. Yeah.
Well, the hot show is not above just shoving things into shorter amounts of time.
We're not.
What?
I just agreed with you, that's all.
I feel like I better get cooking. Get some heat going here.
Okay, so this recipe calls for 3 large eggs and 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I used 1 cup and 2 eggs. I feel like I should be fine. I guess that technically would have been a half egg. But I'm just going to keep putting more flour in here and hope for the best. I didn't think I was going to be getting a workout today.
Shelton, remember that thing I was texting you about earlier?
Yeah. Are you doing okay?
Well, we're about to find out. I realized I got home and I had just taken my pump off because all it does is buzz at me. And I got home.
It like will not stop buzzing, by the way. If there's an error, and like, for those of you who don't know, he and I are both diabetics. And we're talking about insulin pumps and some weird noises that they make. But yeah, hopefully your blood sugar is okay to eat whatever you cook today.
I'm about to do drugs on the internet.
They're legal drugs. We're both diabetes. Diabetes.
I got into a Twitter fight with a stranger about the cost of insulin. That was fun.
I do that like once a week. How are you doing? Do you need any advice? Do you need help?
I am fortunate that right now, my job, the insurance that is provided makes insulin not often. So it costs me about $50 a month. I don't think it should be that much. I still think that's too high, given that I've reviewed the prescriptions. But
in Illinois, there's a rule where it's 35.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Shout out to JB Pritzker.
Hey, JB.
Also, he looks like the mayor from The Simpsons. I texted E and Ryan the other day because I was driving and I went past a place called Shelbyville.
Did you check out the lemon tree?
We did not stop. We were cruising past too quickly. But next time, I'll let you know.
No,
Shake your hands hard.
I feel like I don't really know like all that much about like eating with diabetes. What's that? How does that change what you eat and like how you eat?
So that's interesting to say. So like for type 1 and type 2 diabetes are two different things. Ethan and I are mostly talking about type 1 diabetes, which is insulin dependent. Most people get it when they're younger, like developed during. Huh?
You're doing it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
I was going to say, should we take a step back and explain what they are?
What diabetes is?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like what the difference between type 1 and 2 are.
Yeah. Why don't you handle that?
Sure. Okay. So, kids, gather around. Basically, your body has an organ. Thank you for gathering around. Come closer. Your body has an organ called the pancreas. One of the things that the pancreas does produces. Yes, it kind of looks like an uncooked, unshaped ball of pasta. One of the things that it does is it produces a hormone called insulin. When you eat, your body breaks down the food into different things. And one of the things it breaks down is the sugar from the food that you eat, and the carbohydrates, and it turns them into sugar. It converts that sugar into energy. It does that by taking that sugar from your bloodstream. So that is often why you get a sugar rush or a sugar high, because if you're eating something, you'll get a real burst of energy because your body's like, cool, lots of sugar, I can handle that. Why you crash, I'm not really sure, but that's why short bursts of sugar will reduce the energy. So diabetes, what happens is as a type 1 diabetic, which is what Shelton and I are, your body no longer produces insulin. And as a type 2 diabetic, your body still produces it, but builds up a resistance to it. Kind of like when you build up a tolerance for it, basically. So you often take medication. It's a little. I don't want to compare situations. They're different. They are grouped together because they are the same. You're dealing with the same organ and the same hormone of insulin, but they're treated very differently. It is more often the case that with type 2 diabetics, with proper diet and exercise, that you can manage your type 2 diabetes. Often you will take medication in pill form. And type 1 diabetics need to take insulin either via injection or what's called insulin pump, which is what this guy is. So, closer. It looks like a little beeper. It's got a little cord on it. And the cord is basically hooked up to essentially an IV that's connected to me 98% of the day. 2% is like when I shower. Basically.
Not during sex and not during the shower and not during swimming. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
I don't know why I find this kind of funny, but sometimes during I don't care if anyone knows, when you're getting ready for the fun times, I'll take my insulin pump and swing it off in a funny section. Because I have a sense of humor.
Does that really get people going?
I think so. I think it's a real turn on for most people. Take that bodily organ that's an electronic object. Would you say that it's an appliance? Definitely an appliance.
Definitely.
A bodily appliance, interesting.
So you can also get insulin into your body with syringes or like an insulin pen, which is something that I use. Or I have been using my pump broke. And it's like you like tap this thing at the bottom and it like forces it into your body, which is kind of cool. But it makes it kind of inconvenient if you need to like use a syringe in a public place because sometimes people faint. So you have to like make everyone aware or do it secretly.
That's interesting.
Because needle phobias are pretty common. I think this is ready to separate.
Ooh.
I made the dough.
Great. So I'm curious about kind of my initial question of like, how does like for the two of you, like, so type 1, how does that affect what you eat and how you eat and stuff?
So, not the difference between type 1 and type 2 is that like type 2 you kind of have to regulate with a diet, but type 1 you just kind of like, I don't want to say you can eat whatever you want, but like you kind of, because insulin is expensive, you kind of are like, hey, like, I don't know, I won't say that you like eat less fatty things, but you have to do insulin for everything that you eat, and you do it based on a carb ratio. So like for me, it's like every 7 carbs that I eat, I have to do a unit of insulin. But I don't drink like sugary sodas because it'll make your blood sugar like spike.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate milk is also the fastest thing to get your blood sugar up if you're ever in a pinch.
So, when you're trying to maintain a level, because like, because there are times when you have not enough blood sugar. So there are also times where you can have too much.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, they kind of explained it like insulin, you're supposed to cover this and let it sit in the fridge for 30 minutes. So I'm
Okay.
going to do that. There are times when your blood sugar, it was phrased to me like insulin is the key that unlocks the nutrients that you can use for your body. And if you don't have that key, it just goes straight into your bloodstream and keeps running around trying to find the exit. Like have you ever? I can't remember if it's Uncle Buck or which movie it is where they just keep going around and around that roundabout over and over again until they trying to get out. It's kind of like that in the sense that you're like it's just going to all your organs like, hey, I have this sugar, I'm trying to drop it off, but I don't have the keys to unlock the doors. Can you please open the door? And they're like, sorry, don't have insulin, can't do it.
I can add
So-
on just a little. I'll just add on a little bit and just say there are ramifications for if your blood sugar is too high, blood glucose level, blood sugar level. If it's too high or too low, and both aren't great. And so diabetes management is all about keeping your blood glucose number in a great range.
Can you repeat that last sentence?
So diabetes management is all about keeping your blood glucose level in a safe range.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, I am so excited. Man, I just realized I've never looked this up. I snack on olives all the time, and I don't know how many carbs are in them. Less than 1.
Yeah, I was
Per
gonna say
serving
that
size of
even in vegetables, there's very little.
Yeah. So, like, if you ask me or Ethan how many carbs are in something, we can generally know. Like, a banana is like 30 carbs, but if you eat half of it, it's 15. But who eats half a banana? You always go hard.
Not everyone. Sometimes you don't want a full banana. Sometimes you don't want a full banana. I don't know.
I feel like if you're splitting it with someone, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get these olives out of this jar. I have to finger them out. Or maybe you could fork them out. There's better wording for that.
I think you were fine. I think the smell of onions is the best.
You said the best?
Yeah, isn't it so good?
I really like this. I can't say that it's like a favorite smell of mine, but I do really like. I don't mind the smell of onion.
Well, I just like it when it starts cooking. Like, the smell of onions and garlic cooking is just, to me, like the essential. Like, that's part of what I love so much about cooking. Is like, I don't know, it just like hits me every time.
Okay, I didn't hear the garlic part. Yes, absolutely. I thought you were just saying onion by itself, and I was like, no, but onions and garlic, yeah. My bad. Audio issue, my friend.
I don't think I said garlic.
I could not agree more.
Okay, you didn't. Okay, did you not say garlic the first time around?
I didn't.
I only heard onions, so I'm with you, Shelton. But
Okay.
now that you brought up, I couldn't agree more.
You don't like the smell of cooking onions without the garlic?
No, it's fine. Just that's an okay smell.
not
But like
exciting.
onions and garlic. Oh my god! I gotta tell you, I got onions, garlic, and mushroom and pepper right here. That's pretty yummy.
Okay, I'm moving on to phase 2. The pasta is in the refrigerator. I am starting all the things that you put the pasta inside it, or on top of the pasta. So there's cauliflower in some oil. Here are some olives, capers, pistachios. I feel like this isn't going to be everyone's favorite, but I really like it.
I think it
Everyone
sounds very
see.
good.
My sister doesn't like onions or capers.
Shelton, I'm gonna point out something, and I hope this isn't news to you, but you're the only one eating it. So as long as you like it.
You know, that's true. That made it kind of sad. We're eating together, though.
Yeah.
Actually, this was probably the ideal way to eat if you're a picky eater, because you can like cook because you're cooking with others, but they don't have to taste your food, you know. Or if you're just selfish and you like to eat like just by yourself, you know. I forgot the onion.
It's very
Normally,
important.
there's an onion in it, but I'm throwing it in there because it was a requirement, and I feel like it won't taste bad. Onions. I really like the look of purple onions when you cut them.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
they're very nice. Another
Also,
one.
eventually, huh?
We all tried talking at once.
You go.
So I think.
We all stopped talking at once.
I said you go.
Yeah, but I was waiting for Ethan to go.
Okay, well, my suggestion was that if anybody makes this at home, to use like an actual cauliflower. Don't use the freezer bag kind. I use a shit ton of salt and oil. That's the metric unit. A shit ton.
I think that's what chocolate pan used to say. Get there, guys. Get there.
I just got a new pan from my grandma's house. She was getting rid of stuff. This is a new pan. That's kind of exciting.
I like it.
Here are garlic olives entering the pan.
Great, great.
And olive oil and salt.
That's
Oh, Skunky's okay.
Oh, I think he is. He said he had to finish unloading his truck.
If anybody in the comments section has any advice for how to cook homemade pasta, I am more than open to it.
Or if you are cooking yourself in the comments. I mean, maybe don't cook yourself, but if you're also cooking.
All right, this is nice and smelly. So I'm gonna leave a couple capers on here. I'm gonna turn this off. And then I'm gonna put some pistachios on top.
You know, you kind of inspired me about this pistachio thing. I think I started kind of feeling like I didn't want to cook the peppers. So I'm gonna be making a little side salad with some mixed greens.
Love it.
But I think I might put some salt and pepper pistachios that I have on there.
Nice.
Yeah, you kind of inspired me with your pistachios.
I'm happy that that could happen. Good inspiration, I hope.
I mean, we'll find out.
Does flour go bad?
I think it can.
I'm making pasta, so I'm drinking wine with this because I'm waiting now. Clean up, everybody. It's nice and chilled because I put it in the freezer and forgot about it. If you ever see one of these in a thrift store, buy it.
What is it?
It's a bottle opener, but it grips it like it's two thighs, and then you go down and then up, and then it just like magically pulls it off so easily. It's very nice.
Did you get pre-shelled pistachios, or did you?
I did not deshell those. I bought them unshelled because I don't like opening them. I think it takes too long and it dims the joy of eating a pistachio. If that's okay, say.
You can say whatever you want.
It just dims my joy of eating it. I'm sure that for other people it might elongate the joy.
Good. Are you back? Hey there, Skunk. Now, are you cooking also?
I am. I've got some red quinoa.
Red quinoa.
I thought this was going to be a quinoa show.
Unfortunately, you were mistaken.
I hope you have a hard egg too.
Still got the requirements here.
Okay, great.
I'm fascinated.
So what? I imagine as a trucker, green is a little bit harder to come by.
Just you wait, friend.
Is it hard to find weed out on the road? Wait. That's legal in most. Never mind. I was thinking I implied green or something else. Based on the way you reacted, I thought.
Did you say meat?
No, I said weed. Because I was thinking about whether it's legal in most.
Truckers can't smoke weed, friends.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, then never mind.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like, you're passing from state to state often.
Yeah, it's a
large thing.
It's a federal thing. DOT mandates that every fleet drug test randomly at least 25% of their drivers annually. So Dorothy doesn't like smoking weed.
Wow, this is good wine.
Must be nice.
It was $7. It was on sale. That was what made me choose it. Also, this is the bowl from the artwork. The poster this week.
I have that same bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, the one with all the beautiful ones.
Can you pass
I
it?
used the orange one.
Let me give it to you.
Oh, thanks.
Terrible execution.
Sorry. I hope we didn't hit you on the way.
That was not the best.
Me so happy that you had the same bowl.
Well, that's pretty great.
Right, you want to try again?
Yeah, I can put you closer.
Oh yeah.
All right, ready?
Yeah. No, you gotta go the other way. There you go. Yeah.
Wait.
Other
Oh,
way?
no, you were wrong.
What?
You were wrong. You took it from me.
What? Oh no! Ah! You're right.
You
You're
got
right.
this. You got this.
Ah! All right.
Took it.
One more time.
Now I need it back.
This
Now I
is
need
the
it
concept
back.
of listening for
Yeah,
argument.
yeah.
Oh,
I think
here.
you have it.
There you go. Got it?
Still not a great execution. A little bit better. You're in the right direction now.
But we can do the worm.
Rate my execution.com.
Wait, everyone do the worm together.
Okay, well, I can put
Ethan, you gotta do that. Oh!
My worm looks like a wacky inflatable waving tube.
They sell tiny, wacky, inflatable tube guys at the store, and I got one for my teacher friend, and she uses it as a reward system for when the kids are good, and I think that's great.
I kind of need one. You need to let me know where those are. That's awesome. I need one for my.
I think it was at Target or something, or no, where was it? I got it online, but I will find that and perhaps surprise you. I also owe you a little plant.
You owe me a plant.
This is yours when I figure out how to ship it to you.
Yeah.
Or
Oh my
stood up.
god! Amazing.
Ta-dee!
You and Ryan just need to get out here.
Huh?
You and Ryan just need to get out here.
I didn't really want to come out to LA. I have too many friends who live out there now that are close friends that I text every once in a while funny memes to. My friend Griffin lives there, and he's a great human.
I've met Griffin. He's awesome.
Where did you meet Griffin?
Oh, it's LA. Everybody just knows everybody.
Are you serious or are you messing with me?
I'm messing with you very much. So.
Oh, I was like, that would be so cool.
Well, there's only one Griffin in LA. It must be him.
He's just a very friendly guy. So as soon as you said that, I was like, wow, maybe you guys know each other.
I did meet Max in person. That was really neat when Erica and her friend Dan were here.
Oh, that's so nice.
You got to hang out with Max.
Hot, you should meet Erica's friend.
I mean, we've kind of run into each other a little bit before. I mean, like,
Just around here.
I'm pretty close with Erica.
It's funny, I've never seen you guys in the same place, but I feel like you would get along so well.
Yeah, well, you know.
Perhaps only in two-dimensional space.
Uh,
Mirrors and zooms.
Wait, that's not true. Did you just say I'm only in two-dimensional space?
Only in mirrors. Pasta bowl.
Basketball, yeah!
This is a pasta pan. Pasta pan.
What do you got going on?
Sailor Man.
Oh yeah, little Sailor Man.
Can you do the thrift store song?
Yeah, I could.
My niece, I showed her this when I got it, and now every time she calls, she goes, "Show me the pirate." I think it's so cute.
Let me just check on my veggies real quick.
I'm excited to see what you think.
Yeah, I'm interested too. I keep kind of like waffling between different things. And
Pun intended.
waffles are not one
Oh
of them.
my god. I forgot to set a timer.
Oh no.
It's been 19
I think we're
minutes.
nearing. Since I said I put it in the fridge.
Yes. 19 minutes. Now.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna give it a solid 10 more.
Yours and mine will be ready at the same time.
Oh wow.
Yay!
Check out this thrift store find. Tiny butcher knife. Look at this grinning sailor in this little pan. Pyrex pie. Let's check out what you got. We're sifting for these thrift store finds.
I'm trying to find the tiny butcher knife and it's missing. Oh no!
Hello. Now, I want to say that I don't know if I've ever shown this on the show before, but I have this fish that is also a bottle opener. It's like a wooden fish
Oh, wow.
bottle opener.
Oh, hi, little gnome.
Hey,
It's
no.
adorable.
What does that feel like on the outside? Does it feel slimy or is it wood? What is it?
This is wood.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it?
Does it
Does it feel nice on the bottom?
You both tried talking at once.
Go ahead, Shelton.
No, you go.
Hot, has it scaled up your bottle opening abilities?
Hey, you guy. E, do you have anything in your kitchen that is from a thrift store?
Yes. Thrift store. Boy. Okay. Well, it's very high up. I have a dish. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I can. So this is a little baking dish that I found at the thrift store.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
So yeah,
it's
for
so
like smaller, because I can't eat all that much food. So like this is like 2 or 3 portions.
Yeah.
It's similar to the tiny Pyrex pot that we referred to.
Right. It is. I was thinking the same thing.
It's a nice item for cooking for one.
I don't
I feel like
go to thrift stores. I was just going to say I don't go to thrift stores that often, but I do utilize my buy nothing group a lot.
counts as a thrift store find.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like a virtual space that's a thrift store find.
Check out
Does
the
anybody
videos.
else like not enjoy, but like, you know, like you can't look away when there's a good fight in their Facebook community page?
I have not looked at my Facebook community page in a very long time. Any of them.
You're probably a better person for it. I like the like whimsical things, like when somebody takes a picture of a shoe just found. Oh my god, it's hot in here.
Sorry about that.
I'm feeling impatient. I'm gonna take this out. No, I'm gonna leave it for one more minute, and as I turn on the fan.
You should definitely leave it a little bit longer.
The website's at 33 minutes. Stacy said 4 hours. My grandma gave me these little salt and pepper shakers, and I already have 2 salt and pepper shakers, but these are so cute. I had to take them.
Those are salt and pepper shakers? They're big.
I know. It's for like our giant family with 17 people.
Yeah.
We have a lot of humans in my fam.
So my family, when we get together, we'll do this thing where someone at the table will ask for, hey, can you pass the salt? And so we have to pass it. You can't just hand it to them directly. It's like, oh, hey, Bill, who is directly across from me, asked for the salt. Like, why don't we pass it to everyone else at the table, and then maybe think about giving it to Bill at the end?
I would find that so annoying, but I also find it annoying.
It's very annoying for the person who wants the salt. For everybody else, absolute blast.
You know what's funny is that one time, like I asked for salt, and I remember Ryan purposely like making it difficult. Wow, yours looks so beautiful, Cat.
Well,
you kind of have to make the announcement like, everybody, Bill wants the salt. Oh, Bill wants the salt. All right, and everyone just kind of falls in line.
I love it.
Hot, I agree. Yours looks fantastic.
Just a little side salad that's going on.
Huh?
It's just a side salad that's there in front of there.
It's very beautiful. Aesthetically pleasing.
I could maybe get. I don't know if I could get an egg. I am gonna add some onion though.
You're not gonna add an egg?
Well, I'm gonna add an egg in the rest of the meal, not the side salad.
Oh, okay, all right. I would say, I feel like I added onion into something that didn't necessarily need onion, so I'm requiring you to use an egg.
You want me to use an egg in my side salad?
No, just in general.
I kind of do.
Okay.
But
not
if it's going to be a grape jelly situation or whatever.
You're
right.
not allowed to heat it in any way whatsoever.
No, I am absolutely. I even already have an idea. I had an idea. It just sounded like more effort than I wanted to put in, but I'm totally going to do it now.
I'm scared. I don't know how to put this on. I had the Hot Show intro song stuck in my head for flipping hours today, and I could not get it out.
Which
It's a
version?
bit of a struggle. Huh?
Which version?
It's the hot show. I don't know how well it's gonna go. It's the hot show, and I don't know. Wait, what's gonna what's gonna happen next? Come on, to the hot show. I should know that whole thing, but I feel like sometimes I arrive a little late. I definitely know the ending song though.
I really liked that some of the words were different. That was fun.
I feel like I don't know the intro song as well as I know the exit song.
The outro.
Here's the box. I got this at a thrift store for $7. I made a Facebook Live post about it because I was so excited.
What a bargain.
Honestly, yeah, very much so.
Got a little fun.
I think the only thing that's in here is for fettuccine. Ooh. Does anybody else feel like they don't really use the directions for things? They just look at the picture and try to figure it out until they finally give up and read the directions?
The only time I look at instructions is when I've come to a place where I'm stuck.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to read the instructions.
Request for any cars. I have a minute or two here. Or
I would like to hear Ethan's Getting to Know You song.
No, but we're cooking. We can't. I don't know. I think we could do that. That seems like a lot. We already have a lot going on. That's like a nice when nothing else is happening sort of song.
I don't know if I know this song either. I don't know if I know this song.
What about the Clouds song?
Oh, clouds. Yeah, we got some steam clouds happening. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, let's play this song. Let's wonder why the clouds walk slowly by. Are you serious about serious now? What's your status with these stratus clouds? Are there cumulonimbus wherever you are. It's cloud dawn. That was a nice one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Point of the episode where we kind of can talk about clouds, or like, are there any clouds hanging around you? I seem to notice Skunky's got some clouds around him.
I think that's just sweat on my camera.
It looks very cloudy.
All right. Is there? I missed some of the situation. Are we revealing all together, or
Okay,
is it?
So we kind of like talked about what we're kind of making as we started kind of making it, but I've kind of been like just seeing where mine went. Shelton and E have been a lot more like specific about where they're heading with theirs, and what is included. So yeah, I'm interested. What's going on with you, food-wise tonight, Scott?
Well, here's what I got. I made red quinoa with Mediterranean eggplant.
Oh.
With onions and tomatoes, and on the side, something green. I made dolmas.
Oh, so good.
I feel like you have a very exciting for being in a truck.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Spoilers, everything came out of a can.
So cool.
Honestly, dolmas out of a can are still pretty good.
Oh man, you're telling me.
What are dolmas?
Great.
They are grape leaves.
Ooh.
Stuff with shit.
Okay.
Rice or quinoa or whatever.
We have some lentil ones right now.
Ooh.
In honor, here, let me grab a dolma myself.
Don't mind if I do. I'm sorry. I really should just sequester myself.
This looks so strange to try to cheer the dolma. But
I have to like attach this little thingy onto my onto the bottom of my stove for like my tiny amount of counter space that I have in order to get this to work. This seems like it might be entertaining, so I'm gonna. Also, I googled this pasta maker that I got at the thrift store for $7. It is worth over $200, and I got it for $7. The pasta maker that I'm using, that I got for $7 at the thrift store, is worth dun 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 nearly $200.
That's amazing! What a deal!
Do you have a mixer thing? That's an attachment for it?
Huh?
You know, the big mixing bowl things, and you can use you can put different.
I do not have this.
I'm blanking on the name.
KitchenAid.
Is that just a? Thank you.
Stand
yeah.
I do not have a name, but I do have a little pasta machine. Holla holla! Excited to use it for the first time. I've used my sister's, but not this one. Is everyone excited? I'm excited.
I'm pretty excited.
Okay, so you take this little dough ball, which may have too much egg in it. We'll see. It starts to feel a little sticky. And you're going to separate it into 4 little slices because you don't want to put all of it in there and separate it. This is kind of the wrong texture, but I'm so hopeful that it will be okay.
Every egg is supposed to get 100 grams of flour. Your cento.
How much is 100 grams?
I'm amazed that you knew that. Just like off the top of your head.
Yeah, that was great.
How much is 100 grams?
We were here earlier.
I really wish you were here earlier when I had to text my sister to ask.
100 grams is 1/10 of a kilogram.
Oh,
Okay, I'm talking about cups.
Cups is volume. Grams is mass. They're not the same. You can't do it. Ah. Ah.
Okay, so it's going through the machine and it's gonna poop it out on the bottom here. I don't know if you can see it, like it poops it out like that, and then I have to catch it with my other hand.
yeah.
Oh,
You're in my dish rack. The attachment that holds it onto here just fell to the ground. Eh. Oh my God. Everything's falling apart. Ethan, are you eating already?
I'm eating a snack. I'm hungry.
what's your
But
snack?
it's not my dinner. These are leftover. These are fried chicken. They're like super crispy with a little bit of seasoning.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yay!
I will say that my dish is ready.
Oh, is it? I think you're the first then.
Do we have to pay an extra subscription fee to watch you eat it?
Actually, I guess Skunky was first.
I'm doing dishes, homie.
I'm still in the cooking phase.
Me too. Largely because I didn't really know what I was doing. And now I'm starting a process.
I think that I didn't put enough flour on this. It's going to be okay. And if not, it's just some bad tasting pasta.
You know, it's like pufferfish, like fugu. If you do it wrong, it becomes highly poisonous.
I don't think that's going to happen in this case, but thank you for the suggestion, Skunky. It was oddly helpful and kind of calmed me down a bit.
That's the goal. It looks beautiful, by the way.
Can we get a last? Have you plated yours, E?
Yes.
Can we get a good view of what you got?
Yeah, absolutely.
Show us what you got. Show us what you got.
Okay. So, I'm gonna try it here.
Oh,
Here, I think it's going to be better. Angle down. Oh, that's okay. So,
Beautiful. Oh my God, Ethan or E.
we have a burger here. It's got. I'll hold up the burger a little closer so you can see all the layers. But it's got bacon on the bottom, burger patty, fried egg, grilled mushroom, onion, and pepper, and a little bit of green onion on top. And then I put a little sriracha on the other half of the bun. And then I took a sweet potato and I sliced it into thin rounds, and then threw some garam masala, salt, pepper, and a little bit of cayenne on there. with some oil, and then put it in the oven for about 25 minutes. A couple of them got a little overdone. That's okay. I kind of like it that way. Yeah. And then here, I'll give you a close-up on the burger. Close-up. Burger.
Great. Great.
Okay.
It's a little,
That looks
little stacked.
Yeah. Those are nice wide buns.
I will. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're these thins. They're called sandwich thins.
I also use them if they're low carb.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
What I was just showing for a minute ago was like how the dough like peeled apart. I didn't knead it enough, so that's why I'm not going to use that little section, or I'm going to keep kneading it and maybe put it back in the fridge. We'll see. I don't know
I'm
how
sending
well.
you some pictures.
How long was your whole process there?
Well, okay, it is. It's about 7:30. I don't know, an hour, start to finish, and that was with me talking and then taking a phone call. And all that. So,
Right.
yeah.
How about you, Skunky?
Oh, and I made sparkling wine. By that I mean I got some up. Skunky, what part of the country are you in right now? If you can disclose.
Great question. I was in Iowa this morning, and I couldn't wait to get the fuck out. I am in, let's see, Aledo, Illinois.
Aledo.
Huh.
Oh my God, my
There
friend,
was a Toledo.
you're near the Quad Cities.
If you say so. I was in Sherrard before that, and Viola between, and Davenport, Iowa this morning.
So wait, isn't Aledo near Davenport?
Yeah. I mean, they generally, when I get routed, they generally put stuff that's pretty close together.
Uh-huh.
Saves fuel and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I deliver to the big yellow dollar stores, and so I get to see all of the upper Midwest's finest podunk-ass little towns. So
This is what I was talking about. These holes are bad and sad.
Oh no.
just fold it over. Just fold it over, and you can laminate it again. It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I promise. Don't get any flour in between there. Fold it over, roll it out, let it rest like a minute, and then just sheet it again. It's fine.
Wait, so you
Don't be
said
so
squish
hard.
it all up? I'm supposed to squish it
squish
all
it
up
all up.
again?
Yeah, make sure there's no big pockets of dry flour. Give it a little knead, and then just let it rest for a minute, and then you can sheet it again. It's fine. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Okay. I didn't realize how much I needed your help during this, and it's really helpful.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, snap. Max, we were just talking about you.
What were you saying?
Good things.
Oh man, how much we like all of your chin.
What?
We were talking about how much we love all of your chin.
I can't understand you.
I don't know if I'm understanding what you're saying either.
I understand.
I'm
Can I
back.
repeat for you? I think you're covering your mic, but I can sort of hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, much better.
What did you say, Skunky? I couldn't understand you.
We were just talking about how much we love all of your chins.
My chin?
All of them.
It's a very good view of your chin right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying all of your chins, because you're kind of laying like this. Yeah.
Yeah, the chins in your pain, buddy.
How you doing, Max?
I'm fine.
Have you cooked dinner?
Yep.
Did you happen to use an onion, an egg, and something green?
No.
That's too bad.
What'd you have?
I think
I put cheese on bread and melted it. I put tomatoes and garlic by it and cooked it all, and then put the tomatoes and garlic on top of it, and some olives and pasta sauce.
Black or green olives?
Yeah, they were green olives.
You got 2 out of 3. Pretty good.
Yeah. And, okay, garlic, was the garlic raw or was it like roasted?
Yeah, I put it in the oven also. So it was roasted when I cooked it in the oven. It was before that.
this guy's going back in the oven, or in the refrigerator. I'm giving up on it. I don't know what to do. I added a little water. I think I'm just gonna put it back in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna make pasta with the rest of it.
Okay.
Is it all right if I eat?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right.
Please do. I kind of wrote a little song. I don't know if I'm going to actually remember how to play it.
I'm gonna wait. I want to hear the song.
Remember to hold on. I think there's too many other sounds happening.
Yeah, I can barely hear it.
Not that one. Not that one. Okay. Sorry, I'm muting the rest of you. Remember to eat. I forget how I started it. Remember to eat before you get mad, before you get sad. Have a snack, a nibble, maybe a feast. Oh, please, let's eat. It's pretty terrible, but
I enjoyed it.
that's good. Yeah, I thought we have a nice song about drinking. So like tonight is not about drinking water. This is about eating food. So please dig in while your food is nice and warm. Oh my god, that was so loud, Max.
Sorry. Normally, my computer doesn't even play audio, but I forgot I switched to a different web browser.
So loud. Also, look at this like tiny face that just got made for this pasta.
Hmm?
Oh, this is a struggle. Why did I choose something so complicated?
I do applaud your ambition on this episode.
I think that if I had prepped earlier, this would have been easier.
There's a type of shaped pasta that I think is called cencioni, and in Italian it means little rags. And you're like halfway there.
That's comforting. You really are like getting me through this.
You make little nuggets, and then you take the blade of a butter knife and you just drag it across, and that's it.
That could work if I can't figure out how to change this thingamajig. It seems like I'm supposed to put it through here, but I just don't know how to change the attachment.
To make it thinner, or what? Or
there's like this thing that you put on top of here.
That's like makes it noodles.
Yeah. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
Just dust your sheet with flour, fold it over a couple of times, and cut it wide. Make pappardelles.
I might end up doing it. I feel like it's on this thing. Oh man. If I can't figure this out due to this, we may just end up cutting it thinly sliced and calling it a day. Because I just watched a YouTube video and I still can't figure it out. He went kind of fast also. What if I write changing attachment? Changing attachment. IMPERIA pasta. Every time I type a space, it comes up as a B. Because my fingers are so full of stuff. Keeps just coming up to the same thing. Well, don't all just stare at me.
Where did Ethan go? Or E?
Oh my god, I figured it out! I figured it out! You don't actually change anything, you just like put it through this thing. Hopefully you do it correctly because you only get one try. Okay. Alrighty. I can do this. Please come out looking like. Oh my god, it's looking like pasta noodles! Oh my god, I did it! I did knock over everything in the process. But I'm doing it.
Oh yeah, it's really looking like noodles.
Can you guys see?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh my god, I did it! Oh wow, I see it now. Hey, do you see it? Do you see it? I'm so
do.
happy.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
People put on like a pasta drying.
Amy is echoing strangely.
Huh?
You're echoing strangely. Like feedback or something.
You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is that I'm not using headphones so that I can also be cooking. Now, Shelton, you have your egg there in the pasta, and did you put onion with those green things in with the cauliflower?
Yeah, I did. Normally, but I it's down. And I think it'll go okay. Yay, pasta!
Yeah, that's pretty great.
I think I have like one scoop of pasta.
Hi guys, my laptop is gonna die. I'm gonna let you go.
No. Thank you for your positive encouragement. Yeah.
Have a nice night.
And
Hi, friends.
that was a great meal you made. Really impressed.
And beautifully plated.
Yeah.
I sent you pictures. You can share them with. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. See you later, Lee. Bye.
Did you finish cooking?
So I still have some veggies cooking, but I think they're going to be for something else later. I did end up including everything that is needed. You can kind of see. So I've got some mixed greens there. I ended up doing a hard-boiled egg. And then there's some pickled red onion on top.
That looks delicious.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Where do you get your pickled onion?
We made it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I got a recipe for that from you, right?
Yeah.
I should make that.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great to have some pickled red onion around.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had pickled carrots before?
I don't know if I understood what you just said, Shelton.
Have you ever had pickled carrots before?
Pickled carrots? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Those are good.
I tried them for the first time this weekend.
What?
I tried them for the first time this weekend. Boy, delicious. All right, going in the pot. Let's put in a smaller pot. But I didn't make nearly as much pot as I thought I was going to. I had to get rid of some of it. Ta-da!
Gorgeous.
Hey, hi. The other day I had a meeting on Zoom, and it has this thing called whiteboards where you can draw on it, and I thought that would be perfect for your exquisite corpse thing that you like to do.
Wow.
That sounds fun.
Can you do it collaboratively?
Yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
what it's for.
All right, I'm gonna go in the bowl.
Mm. Mm.
I'm cleaning this up tomorrow. I've decided.
For those, Max and Skunky, you weren't here earlier, but Shelton used some pistachios in their meal, and I was inspired, and I put some pistachios in my salad.
Hmm.
Kind of crushed them up a little bit, cut them up a little bit, um, and they are delicious in here.
Yeah, I like pistachios a lot, but I pretty much always just eat them plain because I like them best that way.
Mm-hmm. The ones I have are uh, salt and pepper, and they're kind of like roasted.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Yeah, but they work in the salad really well.
That sounds good for a salad.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to remember to try that.
Skunky, you got anything in the way of dessert?
Actually, I did that.
I can't make out a word you're saying.
Well, oh, sorry. I had a packet of apple strawberry,
Hmm.
and I want to dig into some Turkish apricot.
Something apricot?
Turkish.
Turkish apricot. Right, yeah.
I love apricots.
Yeah, me too.
They're delicious. I love the taste of like a really nice cold apricot on a hot sunny day.
Mm.
Mm.
It feels like you're eating dessert, but you're just eating fruit.
Fruit is
Have
dessert.
y'all ever had
Unless you're
pawpaw?
eating an apricot
We're
flavored
having a bit
dessert.
of a hard time hearing you, Skunky. Or at least I am.
Oh, maybe I got sweat in my mic too. How about that? Better? Worse?
Not worse. A little bit better. Not a lot.
Mm.
Skunky, if at any point you need to pull over, you should look at the stars because there's a meteor shower tonight and tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm part.
Yeah. I
Okay.
didn't think you were driving.
Yeah, I'm part.
I keep thinking you're in the nude because of your tan-colored shirt.
I had to change because my other one was soaked.
Man, I really appreciate all your kind words and encouragement and help while I was making this. I could not have done this without the help of you friends.
You're capable of so much more than you think.
I think that sometimes my issue is that I think I'm capable of lots of things, and then I like forget that time is an issue. Yeah, I sometimes forget. But I do appreciate the encouragement. Oh, water boil faster.
Must not have been watching it.
I gotta look away from it. That's how it works, right?
Well, if it makes you feel better, my water took over 40 minutes to boil.
Okay.
It does make me feel better. Thank you.
My water boiler plugs into the cigarette lighter.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You should just get one of those little propane ones.
But do it outside of the car.
Yeah, and just do it outside. It's like a minute boil.
Just use a blowtorch.
Just light it on fire. Wait.
I'm okay just being patient.
Just take it from the radiator once you're done.
Just make a whole bonfire out of random sticks you find on the side of the road, and then pile them on, and then like watch it explode, and then hope your water boils then.
These are
Feel free to
suggestions.
You're welcome.
It's called How to Boil Water.
I still think we should. I think that we maybe could use the drawing thing that Max had talked about for the first episode, or poop episode.
What?
For like anatomical drawings.
Can you,
Which way?
This is the second time you've mentioned this idea of a poop episode.
poop episode?
Yeah.
I just think that it would be fun.
What do you want to do on the poop episode?
I want to talk about bowel movements and fecal matter and all the purposes of fecal matter that we use it for, and the process of it, and the stigma of it, and the interesting ways in which poop in different cultures like is talked about.
We did
This
that.
should have been my major in college. I don't know what I was thinking with photography.
We already did all of that.
Did we?
They're
Yeah. Maybe you weren't there for that episode.
I was at a rest stop recently, and somebody planted a floor dookie.
Somebody planted a what?
floor.
Dookie.
Oh,
A more dookie?
floor.
A what?
Floor dookie.
Floor.
I don't know what that means.
Someone
The
pooped on the
pasta
floor,
going-
Shelton.
I think it means that
The floor was pooped upon.
Floor dookie?
There was corn too.
there was what?
Corn.
Corn? No. That flabbergasts me that something can just go through your body and like be like the same exact thing that comes out,
I mean,
Rips it off.
if you know how to chew, it doesn't.
Okay, but also like does how much of your body like actually absorb corn? Like is it actually nutritious for us if it comes out the other end the same way?
That's what chewing is for. Your body can't digest a lot of plant materials, so you have to chew.
So are you supposed to chew corn like a lot?
You're supposed to chew all your food a lot.
You know what I meant.
What?
Like,
Can
are
you
you
say-
supposed to chew
I don't want to see you
where, like, you
swallowing
don't
over
finish?
there until you're done with the chewing.
You're supposed to chew all your food enough so it's like really chewed.
So it's not recognizable in your poops.
Yeah. If you're
Right.
if you have full food in your poop, obviously you're not digesting it properly. And chewing is the first part of your digestive system.
Okay. Well, I'll think about that next time I eat corn.
Oh, I
You're
hope.
already such a bit, you know? Like, I feel like it takes so long to, like, get it.
Can I ask, how do you all eat corn? Are you side eaters or are you around?
I put the thing in, I put it in long ways and I just like scrape it off as I pull it out.
Oh, wow, that's innovative.
What?
Well, you know, it
You have
helps
to flip it
preserve
around
the
at some
kernels
point?
for later.
What?
It helps preserve the kernels for later.
Yeah, not a lot of chewing possible that way.
That's the goal.
Great swallow.
Oh my gosh, look at it. It's beautiful.
It looks so
very
good.
much.
Show it again. Show it again.
More. More. Oh, yeah.
That looks great.
Made stuff.
That looks so good.
Shelton, is that homemade?
Yeah, it happened like 10 minutes ago.
That's cool. I've never made pasta by hand.
If you want to learn, you could rewatch this episode.
I think it's
I would-
more about meant than
So
learning.
maybe also another YouTube video by somebody who really knows what they're doing. Actually, you know what? I feel like when I was a teacher, we used to do this thing where we would provide an example of something that, like, of an example of something that's not so great, and we would provide an example of something that was really great, and we would provide an example of something that just meets the requirements. And this is probably like the not so great, but it has a lot of personality.
Really, what kind of personality?
Confusion, exhaustion,
Gossip.
whimsy, yeah.
It's fabulous pasta.
Wait, there's
I think it's gossip, isn't it?
green olive, capers, and there's garlic inside the green olive.
Oh, awesome. So,
Okay.
Max, if you want to make pasta, start with doppio cero flour
0, or pizza flour if it's not in your supermarket. 1 egg per 100 grams of flour.
But convert it into cups so you know what he's saying.
You can take a loose cup of flour and pack it down, and then it looks like half a cup. That's not how you measure things. It's not repeatable.
You could make pita with it.
Okay, everybody, I have to go now.
Thanks for stopping by, Max. Resume next week. I think on Thursday the Max show is going to be happening.
Oh yeah, you should come. It'll be at least as fun as the hot show.
Max,
Before you go, if somebody wanted to buy one or several of your Game Boy games, how would they do that from you?
You go to bitmapsoft.co.uk. Let me put it up.
can I just like
Dude, can I just send you a blank check or
cash?
You could do that, but it would probably get to you faster if you buy it on their website.
Okay, cool.
If it's necessary for you to send it to me, then we'll talk about it.
Okay,
But if you can buy it through this website, Actually, I forgot to say this, but I wanted to. They're shipping out copies now. People have already gotten them.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So get a copy pretty soon if you buy it soon.
Time means nothing to me, but cool.
Well, I'm excited that you're interested, and it would be really cool to see you like have the actual physical thing.
Yeah, I want to get one for all of the hot show people who have Game Boys.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, just let me know
I
if you
gotta
got a
see
Game
those.
Boy.
I have a Game Boy. Hot, do you have a Game Boy?
I don't currently have a Game Boy, but I would like to get a Game Boy.
Yeah, you should. What about you, Shelton? Do you have a Game Boy?
No, I don't, but I think I'm the sticker winner, and I forgot to say my prize.
Yeah, you got
Okay,
that.
well,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you have a Game Boy, Skunky?
yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So, anybody who's watching the Hot Show, if you have a Game Boy and want a copy of the Max game with the radishes and the potato guy and the runaround thing, I would love to get you one as a gift because the Hot Show is real neat.
What a lovely gift, Skunky, to get people.
Yeah. So if you got a Game Boy, let me know and I'll get you the game to play on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a nice
Okay,
night.
bye.
Bye, Max.
Bye, man.
Now,
All right. I'm doing this thing.
oh, okay. That looks great. That looks really good.
I wish we were in the same place right now. I want to smell that.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, it smells more like egg than I was expecting, but I feel like that has a lot to do with how much eggs I accidentally put in there. I don't know whether I put too much egg or too much flour, but we'll find out.
Now, Skunky, you said that I believe you said
Oh my god.
potato and radish guy when you were talking about Ruby and Rusty.
That's them.
And I believe you're wrong, because down in Grandma Onion's garden while working in the flower beds, she found a girl with a tomato and a boy with a beet for a head. Ruby and Rusty, such a trusty pair, grew from the dusty earth, but now jump through the air, from the coop to the corn to the witch's lair. Well, one Halloween, Ma went and put a costume on that old scarecrow in the garden. That old scarecrow had jumped up and turned into an evil witch and just about frightened away all them crows. But Ruby and Rusty, they sure didn't like that. They went setting out on the farm on a big adventure. Look for their feathered friends and maybe even beat that evil witch. Ruby and Rusty, such a trusty pair, grew from the dusty earth, but now jump through the air, from the coop to the corn to the witch's lair, from the coop to the corn to the witch's lair. That's a story about those veggie kids.
Love it. This is so fucking good. Oh my god. Yeah, honestly.
You worked for it. You worked for it.
It was a real challenge, and I'm very happy right now. I can cry.
You seem on the edge.
I was getting a little frustrated. I should have, I think what I should have done is prepared the dough ahead of time. But, I just really wanted to show you guys that there's a real egg in there, and that's how it's made.
Yeah, that was great. I'm really impressed by this, honestly. Like, this is my meal. Like, I kind of wandered around, and I'll probably use some of that stuff that I made later and all that. But like, you really impressed here. I just kind of made a little salad,
Yeah, I normally don't take, like, even when I make, like, I'll make pasta, but like make like a really fancy sauce, and it'll take like, maybe a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like a full like 2-hour adventure, and I am enjoying this a lot.
Yeah. I sang it once before. Maybe I'll get it better this time. Remember to eat before you get mad. Before you get sad. Get a snack. A nibble. Maybe a feast. Oh, please, let's see.
I love it.
I think I still gotta work it out a little bit. The kind of like maybe a feast is that part's a little weird still, but it's coming along.
Let's eat.
Let's see.
I feel like I need to hear that song whenever I'm a little hangry.
Yeah. It's interesting, like, when you're thirsty, like, yeah, stuff can kind of go wrong. It can definitely affect your mood and everything, but, like, hunger really does it. Hunger really messes you up.
I think, like, hunger and constipation are two things that just, like, they affect your mood in a very specific way.
You heard it here first, folks.
I had a partner who when hungry, and I say this as somebody who, like, I'm sure that, like, anybody who has dated me, like, can tell, like, a million, like, hangry stories about me, too. But my ex, Ian, used to always say, when you're hungry, you just say the words, "I'm so hungry," over and over again, to the point where it makes me so angry that I'm like, I'm also hungry, and I'm sitting here listening to you say that, and I'm like, well, I can't help it. I'm hungry. And I see how that's very annoying, but at least it's not me just, like, not saying I'm hungry and, like, hinting at it.
Yeah, that's good communication.
This is so good.
That's why I keep one of those rectangle shaped pieces of school pizza in my back pocket at all times. Little life hack.
What do you keep in your back pocket?
You know that rectangle school pizza with the little round sausage guys on there? Keep one of those bad boys right in the old back pocket.
Are you talking about a Lunchable?
No, I'm talking about the school pizza. That's the tray shape.
Yeah,
Were you homeschooled, Shelton?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
The pizza that's like the rectangle shape that the like little lunch lady, says, "Here you go, honey," and then you get it, but it's pocket shaped. What did they feed you at school?
I brought my lunch every day. I remember having Bosco sticks a couple of times when I could afford.
Bosco's.
You know
What's
that
a
those are like 2,000 calories per Bosco stick?
What's a Bosco stick?
It's just
like-
a breadstick with cheese inside.
It's if you combined a breadstick from Olive Garden and a mozzarella stick from Denny's.
I want to go to there.
It's,
But no, you guys didn't have rectangle pizza?
I think I kind of know what you mean. I also brought my lunch most of the time. But
I did too, but like rectangle pizza, I would hit one of the like nerd kids and take their lunch money for that, man.
You were one of those nerd kids. Don't lie.
I was, but I was on the bully side of the nerd spectrum.
I don't believe that for 1 minute. You're too sweet.
Oh, it stops.
Um,
But seriously, like rectangle pizza it's incredible. Like I maybe go to like a grade school on a Friday or something and see if they have that still.
give me the pizza. They said it was here. They said it was a rectangle, not a square.
Oh man, it's so good. And I'll tell you, I'm a pizza connoisseur, and as far as lousy pizza goes, that's doesn't get better. Keep piling that in your word hole. I'm really enjoying that.
what?
I was telling Shelton to keep stuffing that pasta in their word hole. I'm enjoying watching.
A lot of people have told me that they really enjoy watching me eat.
Oh, it's such a joy.
I just really like eating. And I used to have this friend who, like, she would cook for me all the time because she said she just loved watching me eat.
Oh my gosh, if you all knew how nice it is to eat.
But I don't really care either way. I like eating.
Let's get dinner sometime. I want more of this.
I'm going to get some more of my wine and water, just right over there. Oliver's looking at me real jealous.
Yeah, we haven't seen Gulliver in a while.
Who's Oliver?
He's doing fine.
Gulliver is Shelton's guinea pig.
Oh yeah.
He's giving me a real stink eye right now.
Put him on the table with you. Come on, share.
He looks a little irritable right now. I don't feel like.
That's because he's not eating pasta. Trust me, those little fur potatoes love pasta.
I feel like they're not allowed to eat pasta, my friend.
They're guinea pigs. They can eat whatever they want.
They do love something green, though.
That's true.
You do. You guys want to watch me eat some cilantro?
Yes.
It's Gulliver Munch time, Gulliver Munch time, Gulliver Munch time. It's lunch.
Oh, yeah, I had Gulliver lunchtime. Munch, munch. Gulliver munch, Gulliver munch, Gulliver munch, munch time, munch time.
Oh, cilantro. That's my favorite smell. Beep, beep, beep.
Gulliver munch, Gulliver munch, munch time, munch, munch. No, we lost to Shelton.
Right at the good part.
I'm gonna try to show this without burning myself or without turning off my computer. And I did add some spinach to the onions, garlic, and mushrooms that I had cooked up a little bit earlier. And that's probably going to be my something to do with my. Oh yeah, look at that! Oh man, look at him go! Look at him go!
What kind of mushrooms?
Just some like cremini sort of.
Cremini. What is the difference between cremini and baby bellas?
I think they're the same.
Because I ordered them through Instacart when I was sick with COVID, and the person on Instacart was like, "Are baby bellas okay?" And I was like, "I don't know the difference. Go ahead, throw some baby bellas in there."
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but they are functionally the same for me.
Yeah, I think that they taste the same too. I think that's worth a Google though. We should figure that out.
I'm pretty sure they're different, but
We'll
Billy
Google
Bellows they've got their own thing, and creminis they
it.
So like, you're getting like a baby. Like, I mean, like I don't know. The baby portobellos are like, I don't know. They just seem like they're so similar.
have you guys had morels?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh my god.
I think we had morels together one time when
Oh yeah.
Sarah, who's come on the show before,
I was so sad to miss that one.
Sarah's dad came to visit when all three of us lived together, and cooked up some morels on top of steak,
Yeah.
and it was so good.
Oh my gosh. They're
There's something about a dad coming to visit that he like the fact that he cooked up steak for y'all.
oh man. I was a vegan for many years, and actually, Dan, you were on this trip when we went fishing with John and Little John and Big John in Colorado. I'm sure you were there.
I was there,
And,
but I don't know who Dan is.
What? Oh, sorry, hot. But Big John made steaks. And I was like, this. I can't be rude on this, man. Busted me right off the wagon.
That's what she said.
But that was those are good dad steaks as well.
Yeah.
I am enjoying the shit out of this fucking pasta. I think the work made it like tastier. You know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Also, I like how it looks with my black shirt when I'm like eating them and it like slowly disappears up the black. There's no more longer.
There's a really neat Italian dish called a timpano that you make with this big sheet of pasta, and it's got hard cooked eggs in it, amongst 1,000 other things. It's oh my gosh, it's fantastic. It takes all damn day. It's
Well,
worth it.
prepare it for all of us. Live hot show.
I would adore that.
You have to cook the whole time.
I would love that. I love cooking. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what. All right. Any last song requests before we get the heck out of here?
Do you have a song about pasta or carbs?
I have a song about pasta or carbs. I have a song that includes a reference to something that has carbs in it.
Done.
Crowdsourced dinner, yeah, we'll make it together. Crowdsourced dinner, yeah, we'll make it together. Tell us what to do, it'll make it better. Think I see some carrots in the back of the fridge. Tell me, do you have a salad spinner? Maybe we could make a casserole. Come on and help us make a crowdsourced dinner. Which was, of course, the song from the first Hot Show cooking show that we did.
Crowdsourcing or? I still hear about the horror stories of the jelly. Episode
Yeah.
4? No,
No, it was probably in the teens somewhere.
teens.
Yeah. Because I was writing songs by that point, and I didn't do that for the first like 12 or so. Eating pasta, eating pasta, eating pasta. What?
Like, make the. I'm gonna do this to the beat of you doing that.
So there's a really neat Italian kitchen tool. I can't remember what it's called. I think it might just be called like a guitar or something. But it's this board with a bunch of thin strings, like steel strings stretched across it, and it's for making very thin pasta. Put your lump of dough on it, and you just kind of like mash it through these close together strings. It's a
Huh.
beautiful tool.
Are you Italian?
No,
Huh.
disgusting.
Yeah, look at that
What?
name. Beaumont? That's obviously French.
I had no idea.
This
man's
I'm an Italian cooking enthusiast.
enthusiast. Wow, this is so good. Overjoyed. Are we getting ready for the goodbye song?
I don't know. I feel like playing songs. Like it's just kind of the mode I'm in right now.
Keep going. I'm here
Can you
for
play
it.
songs?
What?
Can you play cover songs?
I know some cover songs.
Like Wonderwall,
Nope, can't do
How
that
about
one.
Rainbow?
Freebird.
What?
I feel like you
Freebird?
could do a good somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know it, but mostly my cover songs include Neutral Milk Hotel songs.
Oh,
Get
we
at
could do
it.
In an Aeroplane Over the Sea. That's a song about death.
Wait, hold on. Nope.
You can do it. I believe in you.
What a beautiful light. Face I have found in this place that is circling all around the sun. What a beautiful
That could flash from
soul, a blinker, and I be gone from me. Soft and sweet, how we hold it close. Keep it here with me. And one day we will die, and our ashes will fly from the aeroplane over the sea. For now we are young, let us lay in the sun and count every beautiful thing we can see. Love to be in the arms of all I'm keeping here with me. What a beautiful beautiful life I've found here tonight is music that sounds from the street. There are lights in the cloud and there's ghosts all around. Your voice as it's rolling, ringing through me. Soft and sweet, we only bend roads and roads around the tree. How I remember you, how I would push my fingers through to make your muscles move. That makes your voice so smooth and sweet. But now we keep where we don't know. Our secrets sleep in winter clothes with one you loved so long ago. Now he don't even know his name. What a beautiful face I found in this place that is circling all around the sun. When we meet on a cloud, I'll be laughing out loud. I'll be laughing with everything I see. Can't believe how strange it is to be anything at all.
I'm gonna cry.
Two-headed boy.
Do you remember Giant Country?
Oh man, that one I could try. It's been a really long time since I played that song. I am but an insect to these mountain lands. I have no thoughts, I have no plans. When the cattle's growing big, grazing in the hills, I'll be rolling miles more than I can kill. I am lost in these foggy hills of black. Can't see nothing further and I can't see nothing back. When my world just disappears, floating in a sea, I'll be something, as happy as can be. I am but a red ball rolling on the ground. Such a giant country I have never found. I keep forgetting the third verse of every stanza. Something else. Yeah. When the world is nope. I already sang that one. Something about the when I am so high above, floating like the stars, or looking at the cars, they'll be down below us, twinkling like stars. I don't know. That one was pretty rough. It's been a real long time since I played that.
I didn't know the song, but it sounded lovely.
It was a song I wrote. There's a project I did with some friends, including Skunky, when we first moved to Montana, where we wrote like a song a day for like how long, like 2 weeks or something like that. Like a whole group of us kind of like came together and we just like all played this music together and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 2 or 3 weeks, and we traded spots. To fill in the time being unemployed and searching for work.
Yeah.
That sounds really challenging and also fun.
It was really a beautiful thing.
That sounds so sweet.
Here, I'm gonna post a link to it. If I can get to it. Yeah. You can check it out. It's kind of a long place. I'll put it in the chat for you too, Shelton.
Sweet. inthejunipers.bandcamp.com/album Rubber Ducks and Farkle Split. I'm gonna take a little pic on my phony phone.
Yeah, In the Junipers is a place where Max has traditionally kind of put his music. But there's a bunch of stuff that like we also worked on. The Scientific Music Industries is on there too, which is another project that both Skunky and I were involved with in like when we first met.
Yeah.
What instrument do you play? I didn't know that you make music. Skunky?
Are you asking me or because I was gonna say Hot plays guitar.
I'm aware. And he's also got a lovely singing voice. An undersold talent, if one might say.
You kind of did various things. You played bass and stuff around there a little bit, but the biggest thing that Skunky did was record a lot of stuff in cool ways.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
2 bites of this pasta and I can't do it. I'm so stuffed.
If you go to that same In the Junipers site and you find Scientific Music Industries, there's a song attached to Scientific Music Industries called Dance in a Dream After Eating Tuna Salad that is still one of my favorite things that I've ever been a part of.
Dance in a Dream After Eating Tuna Salad. Okay, all right. I will. That is on my list of things to check out tomorrow when I'm running the trains. I'm so blessed to work a job where like when on the days when I'm not like staring at a screen for hours, like I can like turn my brain off a tiny bit to like listen to music.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that I'd say produced, I guess. I was wearing a bathrobe and no underpants.
Yeah, you really brought that together. That definitely would not have happened without you. Like,
well, I did that for a class project.
It's so cool. It's like I am like I think the second take you just totally took out what I did because it probably didn't come through and it was just crazy noise. But like
I didn't take anything out. Everything stayed in.
Oh yeah, then it probably just didn't actually work. It's so cool. It was one single take of a like people. We all just played music together with like I don't even know if we had a vague idea of what we were doing.
Not really.
we
Dan
just
was playing, Hot was playing the Saw,
yeah.
which I enjoy all of that so much.
It's been a long time. That was yeah. I was playing around with the Saw a lot during that time.
Yeah.
And that is like the one recording that really gets it. What?
An actual saw.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. With like a violin bow.
No, on that recording, I believe I was using a mallet.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Man, I went camping in Kalkaska, or not camping, I guess. It was like my friend built kind of like a shed, but enough for like a couple people, and it had like glass windows. And it was so nice just to go out and like I don't think my phone had service most of the weekend, so it wasn't like complete camping and complete like unplugging, but it was just a very nice weekend to like unplug. And then um she was trying to find something to make a curtain rod so we could hang something so we could change so not everybody could like see us. And I was like, why don't we go outside and find a stick? So we just went through the forest, found a stick, and then sanded it down uh, with a power sander. And it was just a really nice feeling to be able to go out and do that. Makes you feel
Really
powerful whenever you use it like a power sander or any kind of drill or anything.
Really roughing it out there with the power tools, huh?
You know, I think I told my therapist once, like, man, therapy is great, but there's nothing quite like holding a drill in your hand. And I was like, you know what I meant by that. I'm not like disregarding therapy, but it is a weird thing that it gets like anything that I could have talked out that week like came out by sanding. And it's just so beautiful when you're done to take something out of a piece of wood and look at it and just be like, I made that. And out of something that grew from the earth. And I don't know, a lot of people might feel that way about all sorts of things, but it's exciting when I guess it's wood, food, anything. But
Have you ever smashed a watermelon with a giant mallet?
I smashed a pumpkin once, and oh man, it feels so good. It's the noise that it makes when it hits the ground. It's the cracking and the way that it like visually like cracks. Like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I think the world needs more giant mallets.
I was saying more cracking pumpkins, but to each their own.
One leads to the other. Yeah.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
I was thinking, please do.
I think about how expensive that is.
Doesn't matter.
It's gotten its use out of it.
There's two parts of it. It's like part of me is always like when people smash a guitar, I'm like, wow, that must feel amazing. And then the other part of me is like, I think about every kid that like is saving up for a guitar.
Fuck 'em.
That's like you can just smash that. I've been saving up my allowance for months, you know.
That's the entire world right there in one sentence.
Just replay that whenever you're feeling it. You want to know how I feel about humanity? Just go back to that. 2 minutes and 47 seconds. 2 hours and 47 minutes is what I meant to say.
I wonder if I have a song to make you feel better about people. I don't know. A lot of my songs that I wrote are really sad. I have a song that might make you feel better about the world. Maybe not people.
I'm willing to hear it.
Hold on. Oh, how the clouds amble by, the brambles just sigh. Butterflies flutter and fly over the creek at my feet, where babbles and speaks a bubbling word. Do you hear those birds? They're singing our song. It's been too long since I felt so right as the rain passing by. The branches drip dry. Oh, the sunshine, that clear blue sky. Do you hear those birds? It seems absurd that this is our home.
It was tender.
I actually incidentally started writing that song when I was with you, Skunky, when we went to Weir Hot Springs with Andrew and Pete.
Oh yeah.
And it was by some hot springs, and we were by this like huge tree that you could go inside, and we went inside and like smoked a joint or something.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I just don't know if it was a joint or if we were just passing a bowl around or something. Yeah, the day that we were packing up to leave from there, I was sitting there with the guitar, and I was kind of noodling around and like wrote something similar to the first lines of the song I wrote there. But what I remember the most is that all these butterflies just came and like started floating all around us and landed on all of our stuff and everything. It was so magical.
The thing I remember most specifically about that time is like each of the four of us were sitting in the hot springs, and each of the four of us were kind of doing something different. And then we'd switch positions because each of those four spots has its own nice things about it.
Right.
Being deep up to your chin or like looking over at the view or whatnot. And I forget who noticed it. It was probably you, being so observant. But like each of us who was sitting in the position where if you looked over your right shoulder, you'd see the majestic view. Everybody who was sitting in that position had been like observing their hands and just like studying them. And like each position was compelling each of us to do like the same thing. I think very much without realizing it.
Oh, what drug is it that makes people look at their hands? Were you guys just high on?
I mean, I think that's a pretty standard marijuana thing.
But I mean, it wasn't everybody was contemplating their hands. It was only people sitting in that spot were taking time to contemplate their hands. And everybody, each other's spot was leading to some other thing.
That's funny. I
was gonna say unrelated, but I've already told you guys about why I don't believe in ghosts. Nope. Okay. Well, the reasoning, and this is related in the sense that like you only felt the need to look at your hands in that one spot, but asbestos poisoning has similar effects to like LSD, or acid, or there are lots of other names, in the sense that like you can like see things visually in a way that like don't actually like exist in the real world. So people who see ghosts inside haunted houses, and then when they leave, like tell people like, yeah, I freaking saw that shit. Often it's the asbestos poisoning because they seem rational when they leave the house, but like when they're in the house, they're like, yeah, there are fucking ghosts walking around. So
I appreciate this this perspective, but as a counterpoint, I'm going to say that one time I was in a house and a balloon moved from the like kitchen area all the way through the house to the front door, and then it went up the stairs and to the window.
That was that white balloon. That was the same day that the red ball died.
No, this was a birthday balloon.
Oh.
And it was exactly where our friend Kimber, who grew up with you, Skunky, said that she had seen a woman sitting there one time, like as like a, and she said that she would see ghosts and stuff.
She did, dude. For real, that was no jive.
I believe it. Stories. She was so casual about it. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Just watching that whole thing unfold. I took a video of it. The video is unfortunately lost. It may be on Katie Sheehan's computer somewhere. But
well, I can verify, can confirm that her hometown next to my hometown was lousy with ghosts.
Well, I'm interested to hear more stories. It's always fascinating to me. But I do stand firm on many of the asbestos poisoning thingy things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that some things
that you was before the 1800s or the early 1900s.
If your loved one has been affected by mesothelioma, you may be entitled to compensation. Also, my grade school had so much asbestos everywhere.
If you or your family has been haunted by
ghosts, that's very real.
You may be entitled to compensation.
I think I better go to bed.
Sure, thank you for coming down. That was the hot. Sure, thank you for sticking around.
All right.
Hope we had some fun, but now the show's done. Go on, get out of